Good afternoon, Girish.
Good afternoon, sir.
Welcome to Pune.
Thank you.
We thought that we should talk to you about retail media business. You have been handling it quite well for last one complete year, and you also are showing consistent results. We thought that it would be essential to share with all of us. So we will spend next 10-12 minutes discussing about retail media business.
Sure, sir.
Okay. First question I would like to answer from you is you are not typically from media background.
Yes.
You have been in other businesses and then you have come to Vritti Solutions and then you have been handling media business. So how do you find media business? How easy it is? How difficult it is? How was that transformation from other business into our retail media business?
See, I have been a hardcore salesman right from the beginning. So I have handled the FMCG segments earlier, and last segment was with Airtel, where I handled the end-to-end customers. So it was a direct customer interaction. But in the FMCG, we used to have different verticals, like typical consumers as well as retailers who cater to those consumers. Okay. So media product may be different, but then the sales process remains the same. And then you actually interact with a lot of retail customers. The psychology remains the same. Whereas in FMCG and other thing, they used to invest money and take profit. Here they used to invest money and did not see a tangible benefit. That was the only difference.
Okay. This is very useful information for us. I mean, as you are saying that you need to understand the retail
psychology
of the retail owners. And the second thing is sales process essentially is the same. Product can be little different.
Yes.
So that you didn't find it much different?
No, I did not find it much difficult.
Okay.
The process was set, the media was strong, potential was there.
Okay.
And the capability with the team was very much evident. But then the only mindset had to be changed. That is what I did.
Since you mentioned about potential, now have you got a good idea about how big is the retail media business in let's say Karnataka as a district?
See, retail media, you cannot have
Karnataka as a state, I mean, sorry.
Karnataka as a state, you cannot have an exact mapping of the retail segment. But when you look over the years, I had the data from the last 7-8 years, and you see there were many customers who were renewing year on year consistently. And that too at a high value renewal, so probably about 6-8 lakhs in a year. Okay. So that much sort of a spend was there for the media, which means the market itself was potential. Okay. So exact potential is something which we cannot at a retail level. Okay. Because in FMCG we used to have a yardstick saying that for every lakh of population you need to have 350 outlets. Okay. But here you cannot have that measure.
Okay.
So any customer is a potential customer.
But you believe that this market will be growing market?
It will be growing market because there are a lot of entities coming up. One is hospital, the other is education, your jewelry, your textile. You name the segment, there are a lot of entities which are coming up. These are all traditional entities, traditional segments. There are non-traditional like amusement parks, right, who are also into our fold. There are some temple festival who also want to advertise in the bus stand in that particular district or taluk level. Okay. So these are all non-traditional for us as of now.
Okay. Now discussing about the process typically which you follow. I would like to understand how is your organization and how many let's say telecallers in the office, how many are in the field, and then how the leads are exchanged, how you keep control. So you can little bit explain in detail about this process and also how you put this information in CRM.
Okay, to start off, I have got 32 districts. If you knock off Bangalore, it is 29 districts, and then about 170 taluk level. I have catered to 209 bus stations. Okay. For this, I have got a 12-member team, each handling about 2 to 3 districts. 12-member team on the field, and I have got a 14-member team which is sitting inside the office as a telecalling team. So
Okay.
my mapping is one ASM with one telecaller. So
Okay.
both of them are responsible for the particular district or the particular taluk level which the on-field ASM caters to.
Okay.
So this is an arrangement which has been made for easy process
Okay.
and for better coordination and better results.
Okay.
So this is point one. Point two is in terms of lead generation. There are two types of lead generation. One is leads which come from the field.
Right.
It can be like your new hoardings coming up, your new pamphlets being distributed, your new entities coming up, your new buildings mushrooming. So these can all be the leads for us, and it is shared from the field to the telecaller, to the concerned telecaller.
Okay.
That is one sort of a lead. The second sort of a lead is people sitting in office going through Google and other pages and then getting the leads out of it in that particular district.
Okay.
So both these are entered into the CRM as a lead.
Right. Opportunity.
As an opportunity. And from there they start telecalling. Depending on the outcome of the telecalling, it is given as an appointment or as a follow-up call.
Okay.
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 So typically if I do say 100 calls, 15 end up as an appointment.
Okay.
The remaining 85, there are cases where they do not entertain, that would be about 10 to 15%, but the balance people say that you need to call me at a later stage, and that becomes a part of our opportunity funnel.
Okay.
And this is being again contacted as per the customer schedule.
Okay.
And once an appointment is matured, it is given to the field team for the processing of the calls and orders.
Okay. Okay. Now, when people, or rather your telecallers are logging in that they are not interested, customers are not interested, or some such kind of information, do you analyze that and further review that? How does that happen?
Yes, not interested cases also we analyze. There could be many reasons. One is see, the leads would have come in, but the profiling of the lead would not have happened. Okay, so when we talk to the customer, we understand that whether he is a small outlet or a big outlet, is he worth giving our services, or is he capable of taking our services, spending money. This
Okay.
is something which we find out. So those are the typical cases which move out of the bucket.
Okay.
Okay, there are cases where they do not want to advertise.
Okay.
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 For example, one of the biggest textile showroom in Udupi, which is a coastal, and he does business in crores. He didn't want to advertise this.
Okay.
Some time back, we have been following this up for the last 2.5 years. He didn't want to, advertise. He was more of saying that, I put up a hoarding, I put up a this thing, I do not want you. So the alternate was to get into somebody else who was similar to this outlet. Okay, we got that outlet on fold. We had given him a contract for about 5 years, and then 4 months later, the first person comes in and says, "I want to advertise," because it has become more of a prestige issue for him rather than a need.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the various psychologies which we play,
Okay.
and
Okay.
where we have found out that yes, this customer does not want to spend or is not capable of spending, or he doesn't need any advertisement, we knock it off. Otherwise, we keep it as a
Yeah, but
follow-up
how you
opportunity.
review and who makes that decision that this lead should be knocked out?
The first cut goes from the telecaller.
Okay.
Okay, saying that probably if he is not interested, whether he is interested or not interested, that contact is passed on to the field team.
Okay.
So when he visits that, there is no extra effort put into that particularly. When he visits the district or the taluk level, he just peeps in to find out whether it is really worth it or not worth it.
Okay.
And the decision is taken.
So this qualification of leads is a continuous process.
It is a
and
continuous
this is
process.
interaction between you, telecallers, and the people on the fields. So this is going on.
Yes, this is a complete
parallelly.
circle. This is a complete circle. The first cut comes from the telecaller, and the second review is done by the on-field team. Then the telecalling manager
Okay.
validates it, and then it comes to me for the final approval.
typically any lead, when it comes to you, what's the time for appointment? How many days it takes to go to appointment?
From a call to appointment, it may take about 2-3 days.
Okay,
From appointment to the maturing of the entire process, it may take about a week.
about a week.
Yes.
Okay.
So typically 10 days from the lead generation to a.
So any lead, if it is, let's say, if it crosses 20 days or 25 days, then do you really handle that kind of a lead, or you
Yes,
knock it out?
we keep it open till about 45 days.
45 days. Okay. And do you also reopen some of these calls?
Yes, we do reopen.
Okay.
Again, it depends on the visit done by the field person. There are typically some cases where initially they would not have said, they would have said no. But then on repeated 1 or 2, 3 calls, they show interest, and that is the time when we latch on. And there are cases like
Okay.
that.
Okay. So opening of the call, then deciding about the meeting, and then from meeting into negotiations and finalization of orders.
Yes.
This whole cycle is taking about
10 to 12
15
days, typically on an average 10 to 12 days.
Okay.
But there are cases where it will take more than probably some have taken about a year also.
Okay.
But on an average it's 10 to 12 days.
Okay. Now tell us something about this phenomenon. Typical all the retail businesses we come across is, when you go for negotiation, or when you are kind of having some idea about the budget, how do you quote, how do you negotiate, and this especially when we are required to answer a question from owner that what's the return on my investment. So this is a typical question which all marketing people have to face, and then what answer you have now found out and you have formulated to
Okay. This was one difference from my previous experience. There I used to give a tangible benefit, here I am not able
Correct.
to show a tangible benefit to the retailer.
correct.
But again, all said and done, one is during the telecalling process, we do not negotiate on any rates. We give them the standard rate which is applicable.
Okay.
And during the direct interaction with the ASMs or the AZSMs, we give them a concept saying that why this advertisement is required.
Okay.
Okay. We teach them typically why this is required. For example, the major mode of advertisement is, one is your TV, the second one is your hoarding, third one is your paper, fourth one is newspapers,
Okay.
fourth one is FM, and fifth one is of course our audio.
Okay.
Now the first question which is being asked when the customer says that what is the return on investment, or what benefit do I get, or what
Right.
commitment do I get,
Right.
the first question we internally ask him is, which media will give you a commitment.
Okay.
99% of the time we have received an answer as no media.
Right.
You see.
Right.
We catch up on that point and then explain to him. For example, a hoarding. Hoarding is always not at a high level. It is way above the eye level,
Okay.
which means the moment you cross the hoarding, you tend to forget the hoarding.
Okay.
Secondly, your newspaper. It is not economical, it is very costly, and then it's in a clutter. So the
Okay.
chances of losing is more, rather than seeing. So that is some education which is given. The third is your FM. It is only available in metro, so not much of an impact it will have. The fourth one is TV ads. Doordarshan days, yes, we were forced to see any ad. But today with so many channels coming in, it is just scrolling, they don't even see the ads.
Okay.
So what is the best way? This is what we educate the customer. 1.4 crore people in Karnataka listening to your advertisement every single day if you spread it across Karnataka.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
And listen, even if some of the people listen to it, it is more of a brand recognition and brand reconnection.
Right,
This is what
right.
we typically tell them. We play on the psychology rather than anything else.
So just to summarize, what we are now saying is you are also asking your people to have a detailed customer profile. You are also trying to understand the decision makers in the whole process.
Yes, we in the retail segment we have direct access to the decision maker or the owner, because
Okay.
not much of a hierarchy is there.
Okay.
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 And then the discussion, negotiation and the finalization becomes much more easier than say a corporate or a government job.
Very good. And then you are also taking care of customers' question about the return on investment. I mean,
Yes.
what are the negative points of other media and what are the positive points of our media?
We normally don't say it as a negative point.
Yeah.
We stress on the
Right.
positive part
Yeah.
of our media, and then
Right.
we finally say where we stand vis-a-vis the other
Okay.
media.
Okay, okay. So that's how we pitch ourselves in this. Is there anything you can suggest for pitching? I mean, for different segments, like jewelry segment or hospital segment or.
See, typically I would say that in a hospital segment, for example, there are many hospitals which have mushroomed up.
Okay.
And in a place, for example, if you take a place called Mysore, there are many hospitals, and it is not right on our part also to advertise all the hospitals there.
Right.
Okay, so which in turn, one is the customer should be confused because they keep on hearing the hospital name one after the other. So if at all they want to make a decision after hearing this, they would be confused. So
Okay.
that is one thing. Second thing is, when you have too many of the same segment, then even the customers should have an apprehension saying that, anyhow you are playing everything. So we sometimes carefully choose. It has not happened in a robust manner, but sometimes we carefully choose saying that in a hospital, we take a heart hospital separately, we take a kidney hospital separately, we
Okay.
take a cancer hospital separately, and then start playing that. There are 2-3 hospitals of similar nature also running it.
Okay.
So there are specialists in
Okay.
that places. Okay.
Okay.
And once when we go for a renewal, supposing it is a 6 months tenure and we go for a renewal, if that person comes to us, yes, we continue. If it doesn't come, we have a backup plan for that particular segment.
Okay.
So this is how we do. Hospital, it becomes easy. Educational institution, it becomes easy. But for jewelry, it doesn't become easy.
Okay.
Because I cannot differentiate between jewelry. So there I'll have to play a balancing act, saying that, you have it for 6 months, then take a break. I only suggest them, or my team suggests, saying that, don't do it for a continuous 1 year. Do it for 6 months, then take a break for 3 months, then again publish for 6 months, so that, the customer also feels that here is a person who is giving me a solution.
Okay.
Okay, rather than business.
Okay.
That is how he feels.
Okay. I have 2-3 questions on your review process. Typically any call, when initially call is cold, then it becomes warm and then hot call. And then all this information, as you are explaining, is logged into our CRM.
Yes.
And you take review using the reports in CRM.
Yes.
Can you name any specific report, or you just open CRM and then take review of your team?
There is a BOE report which is being handled by the telecalling manager. The day's work typically starts at about 10 o'clock.
Okay.
9:30 they assemble, 10 o'clock they start the work, and by 5:30 they have been asked to close the day's work.
Okay.
5:45 they assemble and then take a stock of the day's proceedings.
Very good.
The telecalling manager does the review and then shares the report with me, saying that how many calls, how many appointments, what happened to those appointments, or what happened to the previous appointment. This comes in. This is
Okay.
a post logout shift.
Okay.
Shift
Okay.
meeting which happens.
So this is a very systematic
It is a systematic.
day plan, and it is executed also
Yes.
very well.
Yes.
Okay, so this is very nice. And then when orders are lost out of, let's say, negotiation, or maybe we are not able to convince, so do you also use information in CRM about lost orders, and then do you make that kind of analysis?
Yes, the typical reasons for losing an order is also mentioned in the CRM.
Right.
Okay. So once the order is lost, we get into why it was lost.
Correct.
Possible reason is that probably he may want to have something extra, not audio.
Okay. Okay.
So we typically note it down. Whenever we are ready, we again have the synced approach. And again, there are cases where they say sir, it is not season now.
Okay.
Okay, so let us wait for the season. So once the season comes, we approach them.
Very good. So when you receive this kind of a call update, there is typical rating done to the call, and then we receive it on mail. So you review and then you question the concerned ACs.
I will not be able to review every single call honestly, but
Okay.
yes, I pick up random calls and then do a review.
Okay, okay, okay. How you place the let's say team's travel plan, and then because you have explained that it's entire Karnataka you are looking after, so how frequently the travel has to be done?
The hierarchy is two level. One is the ASM and the ASM. Typically, it is a zonal level which is created. For example, if you take Raichur zone, Raichur, Gulbarga and Hospet are the major district point, and there are 3 people placed out of here, and every person caters to 3 district each and about 13-14 taluk levels.
Okay.
And there is a ASM who is placed in Raichur. His reportees are placed in Gulbarga and Hospete.
Okay.
So what we do is every 15 days, the ASM should spend 2 days with each of these
Okay.
people is what we have formalized. Okay. Apart from his own territory, which is Raichur. Okay. Now what happens is during the course of the ASM's visit to his reportee, it has been mandated that whatever are the warm and the hot calls, this has to be typically visited by the ASM for better closure, from hot to closure or from warm to hot.
Okay.
So this system is very clearly defined, and then I take a report after the visit.
Okay.
We have a con call with the ASM, ASM and myself to typically understand what has happened in those 2 days or that single day where he has worked with this reporting, to find out where he is standing, whether he is able to progress or there needs to be any development.
Okay. So, looking at the different, let's say, objections, suppose customer has raised certain objections and your team members have not been able to explain properly, that's what you perhaps find in lost order. Then do you conduct some kind of training, or how do you spread that message across your team? So is there any frequency of training also?
See, on the field training happens. I travel frequently.
Okay.
So wherever there is an issue in terms of probably in terms of his performance, or if there is any problem with any of the customers, I get a call from the ASM or the ASM saying that you should come and intervene. So I make my travel plan accordingly and then go to that place.
Okay.
So most of the time it has helped them as well to gain confidence.
Okay. Okay. So this is, I think, this process what you have said, and then most of the things you are using through CRM.
Absolutely.
So that is set properly and you are able to navigate using our system.
Absolutely. See, as I said, the market has huge potential. The team has got capability.
Okay.
And the media is strong. It was only the mindset which had to be changed. That is what I did, and it is according to the process.
Right.
There is nothing out of the process.
Yes. So I think yes, I recollect that Yuvan started off in Karnataka and he has got very strong, passion of driving the business of retail media. He did it, and then you are equally doing that role very nicely, and then you are driving through. So it's a wonderful job, and then let us look for this kind of association for many coming years.
Sure, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.